Count is also getting his second TC on the backside of his base. There's the Ragnarok.
Oh, and there's the Fimbulwinter.
No way!
I think Rapl had predicted what happened here, so he uses Rag immediately.
Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to game number 1. We have Rapl here in the blue playing Odin, and we have Count Von Count. Not a big surprise. We have Count Von Count playing Loki up here in the red. I'm gonna look at Rapl's base first off. He used his Great Hunt to get a second starting Aurochs and a couple of additional goats. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Talk to me. So Soup, we got Soup co-casting with me today, everybody. Much appreciated. So Soup, tell me. The last time you and I spoke, we were talking a lot about Loki picks and Mega Random, blah, blah, blah. And it seems like, there's been a lot of Loki on Mega Random. Top players have been choosing Loki on Mega Random. You seem to think it's the best on Mega Random, but Rapl picks Odin here. Is that because Rapple's just an Odin main? Is it because he's more confident against Loki? What are your thoughts?
It's because he's an Odin main. I think of all the Norse gods, Odin is the worst here, and the big reason for that is that Odin isn't very good on water, whereas Thor is really good and Loki is quite decent. So for the water spawns, I will say Odin is just disadvantaged. But I suppose what Rapl is thinking is, if he gets water, he can just veto it, and then any other map he'll have his comfort pick on a land map, and that's perfectly fine for him. I guess that's what he's thinking here.
So that's a fair assessment in all sincerity. Well, my thought is that that's a very good point about the potential to get water maps. I really like it. I'm looking at his base right now. I really like what he does here, though. Like, a Great Hunt is potentially such a valuable god power. So he has two starting Aurochs, plus a couple of extra goats. That's huge for his build order, in all sincerity, especially when, like, on some of these Mega Random generations, you have basically no hunt. If you can just about double your hunt with one god power from the get-go, that's huge. So I'm torn. You have a very good point, and I agree with you about the water situation. But Great Hunt can potentially be extra huge on if it's a low hunt map.
On these spawns, where you oftentimes have hunt extremely close to your TC, so you can actually get those situations where you're hunting underneath your TC.
Exactly.
Without even investing into an Ox card, and it is what Rapl is doing here. It is so powerful.
Yep.
And you don't get that on regular maps, so it's something that is actually unique to Mega Random, and something that makes Odin particularly powerful here as well. So with that in mind, maybe Odin is actually a good pick, especially if you're comfortable with him.
Well, I think that, especially since you have a veto, since you can veto water maps, or veto low hunt, veto, whatever, bad gold, blah, blah, blah. Since you have at least one veto, and it is only a best of 3, I think it's not clear which Norse god is best. I think that's kind of my point. I don't think it's clear, because depending on if it's water, if it's this, if it's that, if it's whatever, it could be good for Odin, it could be good for... Holy shit, speaking of good for Odin, Rapl just found 2 elephants in the back of his base. Are you kidding me?
And he's got that wood line on both sides as well, so he's going to be able to wall that off very easily. And he can just spam his units over to those elephants and ensure that he doesn't get pushed off of there. And then Count is going to have a very hard time getting value out of his hearses. Oh yeah.
In fact, while I pull up the resources, everybody, we have Freya coming in for Rapl and Forseti, of course, no surprises there. In addition to that, Soup, Rapl also has the defensive gold mine in the backside of his base, which he is already walling up. Amazing. He's got a good wood line in the backside of his base, plus those double elephants. He's got boars on the right side as well. I think this is a pretty amazing map for Rapl, in all sincerity. He started with the 2 Aurochs.
It doesn't get better than this for Rapl. This is like the perfect setup for Odin versus Loki.
Yeah, sure.
And look at the large gold mine over on the right side as well. It's so convenient for him, because he's already Like he's putting his units there. He's going to set up his walls, his buildings, everything over on the right side anyways. And so it's going to be quite easy for him to set up a hill fort there eventually.
Yep. Agreed. Now
I'm just going to have to really pull a rabbit out of his head or something here.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say he ate a rhino on the left side of his base. He's on the 2 elephants on the right side of his base. I mean, he's got Aurochs right outside of where that Valkyrie is sitting right there. Whoa, that Valkyrie snuck through the woods right there. Crazy.
Oh yeah, that's sick.
Bummer funny. For Count. Anyways, with Loki's ability to go really aggressive with not okay, what am I trying to say here? With all this hunt, he can pretty easily get a good number of Herser out, get a good heroic timing, etc. And
yeah.
It's not like Count still, I think, has to make this game make the win happen. But I think that there's plenty of hunt here that, that gold mine of Rapl, if Rapl doesn't get a good enough Scotty timing and, Count has a good Bragi timing, that gold mine is forward and the front side of it is very exposed. So Rapl could potentially take a really bad fight there. Count could force a bad fight. I don't know. I think there's plenty of counterplay here for Count. Haha.
Well, there's also the TCs on the left side, and eventually Rapl do want to go for some form of he needs to take a TC at some point, and that opens up the possibility for Count to make something happen there. Because then
sure.
Rapl cannot just focus solely on the right side like we talked about.
True. Very true. Very true. There's even a gold mine over there, although I mean it's not like a town center secures that, but still, just saying.
Yeah.
Well, having said that, go ahead.
No, it's just that there's 4 boars here for Rapl after the 2 elephants are depleted. It's just such a crazy map.
Exactly. He's walling it up already. This is amazing.
Yeah, it is. And he's got 1,600 gold left in his gold mine. So, like, I'm struggling to see what Count could even come up with here. Rapl has also done a really good job just walling up his space because he's got this really chunky line in the back, so it's actually quite easy for him to wall it off.
Well,
Count is actually 2 villagers behind already somehow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's housed right now as well. What if he's having a housing crisis?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I mean, Count. I think this game might be reminiscent of Redo against Odin King. Odin King had good hunt as Odin, but Redo just got heroic, a minute or so earlier. He used Bragi right away. Speaking of that, nice horsery pick there for Rapl.
Yeah.
He just got a much faster Bragi upgrade, and he just overwhelmed. He was able to overwhelm Odin King, before Odin King was able to get up with a strong heroic. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Potential play for Count.
Yeah. Well, we'll see because they're mirroring each other so far. Both going on elephants, and then there's going to be boars as well. So it is perfectly mirrored, actually.
That's a good point.
But the thing is, when it's mirrored, you gotta take into consideration Odin's plus 10% hunt bonus.
Yep.
It is plus 20%, but I think effectively it only amounts to 10%, or something like 15% maybe. But you have to take that into account. So like, if nothing's happening, Odin is going to have a better economy than the Loki player.
Yeah. Yeah, Count needs to find some damage. So far, he hasn't really found any damage. He's over here on this left side of Rappel's base. He can maybe pop in, destroy that house real quick, pop into the gold mine, get a little pressure going.
Do here. That's a good damage onto the Odin player, just getting rid of the houses or the longhouse or whatever. Plus, he accumulates favor for himself. And you can maybe get a lucky Valkyrie spam to assist him in these raids.
That's true, dude. That's a good point. Aside from doing damage to the Odin player, at the very least, you need to bank up that favor, the favor for each of the Herser in order to get the spawns once the fight actually happens.
Yeah. Exactly. Can you see Rapl? Is he advancing now?
Yep, up 25% Scotty.
Yeah, exactly. So once he is up through Scotty, I think he's just going to potentially even go for a defend for just a hill fort in his base, and then a second one over on the gold mine, because he is floating resources now. And the good thing about getting a hill fort in your base is that you can start making Jarls They're so good versus Loki because they're good versus Throwing Axemen and they're good versus Myth units. And actually good versus Hearses as well.
Yeah. I'm just making a whole about double the Herser numbers compared to that redo Odin King game I was referencing. Count is making a whole lot more Herser compared to redo. And if you look at his resources, I think you can see his resources. He's pretty far away from actually advancing.
Oh, he's not even heroic yet?
Nope.
Ah, yeah, that's rough because Skadi's in now, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pressure on Count. There's been a lot of pressure all game, to be honest. But look on the left side, he's actually dealing some damage here.
Yeah. That troll spawn is really nice on the Throwing Axemen.
Yeah, killing the Frost Giant, it's really good. 34 to 34 villagers now, looking a bit more equal. And Rapl has a lot of resources. He is moving over to the right now, and he needs to find a way to spend them.
I mean, even though Count has got a little bit of damage over on that left-hand side, he took damage too. He lost like 3, 4, 5 Herser there, plus that free troll. It's not like that was a wonderful fight for him to really slow down Rapl, in my opinion.
I think he killed maybe 2 villagers, so well, maybe 2 or 3 villagers. He's actually ahead in villager count now. Not that it matters too much at this stage, but it's something.
I think Rappel's feeling comfortable, man. He's even, if you look at his gold mine, he's even hunting those Aurochs right next to it. I think he's feeling pretty darn comfortable, honestly.
He should be feeling comfortable. He's been blessed with the most wonderful map you could ever ask for as Odin.
Oh yeah.
Forest Fire over here, just trying to, I don't even know what that was for. Do a small bit of damage onto the Hearses, maybe?
I think he just didn't want to lose his army. You get his army trapped.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, you can use Forest Fire like that sometimes. Count is going heroic now.
He is. After the Ox Cart pops out, he will be up heroic. What does he do in the meantime? Like, the Hill Fort is up, the Throwing Axe, there's a good army here for Rapl. What does he do in the meantime?
Yeah, I don't know. Rapl is just playing it super defensively here. I think maybe the one opening I can see coming in for Count is when Rapl is going for a second TC. Maybe then he can make something happen if he is there with a big army and he can take Rapl by surprise.
Yeah.
Because the TCs are no good for Rapl. That's the one downside on his map, is that the TCs aren't that great.
Well, I can see one potential here, because there are gold mines over on the, like, where Count's Hersier are right now. There's the forward town center, there's the 2 gold mines there, so eventually he's getting heavy infantry right now. So I could see a world where Rapl just pushes forward as the game goes on. He pushes forward here on this right-hand side in order to maybe take a town center, take some good fights, maybe get that gold mine up over there when he really needs to. Maybe that's a possibility for him. That way he doesn't even need to pay attention to the left-hand side, you know, terribly soon. He can maybe snipe that town center in the middle. Maybe.
I think maybe he's going for the town center in the middle. And with the heavy Throwing Axemen and the Hearses and the Frost, and this is a strong Odin army. Like, Loki is getting Hell up now, and I think, what is it for Rapl? What is he going after? Baldur?
Oh, dude. Okay, we got Huntress Axe coming in for Rapl, so the Throwing Axemen are going to be super sick. We have Baldur coming in for Rapl. We also have Tyr coming in. Tyr coming in for Count.
Yeah, well, that's because, actually, that's good for Count. He should just let this TC go up then. And then when he hits Tyr, he can use Flaming Weapons plus Fimbulwinter, and there is no Frost to counter the Flaming Weapons, obviously.
Right.
And then with the 2 TCs, there's going to be 2 spawns of Fimbulwinter, and I mean, there's a potential there for Count to deal some damage before the Ragnarok hits.
Yeah, for sure. 45 Villager Ragnarok, if he tries to use it right away, he'll maybe bump up to 50 by the time he actually has an opportunity to use it.
Yeah, and like, we have Omniscience, so it's easy for us to say, but Rapl should just use Rag immediately, honestly.
You think so?
Yeah, he's gonna really...
Soup, I don't mean to bring up old wounds, but are you sure he should use it immediately?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm kidding.
Oh, it's okay. I don't know. Rapl's in a very strong spot either way, whatever he decides. But there is a potential, if he doesn't use Rag immediately, there is a potential that the Flaming Weapons Fimbulwinter is going to hit hard.
Yeah. Count is also getting his second TC on the backside of his base. There's the Ragnarok.
Oh, and there's the Flaming Weapons Fimbulwinter.
No way!
I think Rapl had predicted what happened here, so he uses Rag immediately.
Dude, unbelievable. Seconds before Tyr comes in, he actually uses a Ragnarok. Seconds, man, and Count just calls it. Oh my god, what?
Oh. Yeah, that's what I said. You gotta just use Rag immediately, because Fimbulwinter gets 0 value here.
Yep, exactly.
And kind of the same with Flaming Weapons, because they're just being overwhelmed by this huge army.
Yeah, dude. The veto material says Count. I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah.
If he saw the elephants early, he should definitely have vetoed. I don't know if he did, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I think he probably would have gone to the elephants first instead of the rhino on the left-hand side if he saw the elephants. Saw the Aurochs in front of his base as well. Anyways, regardless, I mean, even though Rapl had a really good map, I still think it was well played for him. He didn't really take any damage. Any damage that he kind of took, he also gave damage, like, so he killed Herseer and whatnot that Count was trying to raid with, so he didn't really take any bad trades, I suppose, is the point early on. And then he just gets heroic, he gets champion, he gets mythic, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah. Well, this is... If Rapl had lost this, it would have been embarrassing for him. He knew exactly what to do, and he did it. So that's good.
Well handled, very well handled.
I'm gonna come.
Yeah.
Master of Freedom is gonna come.
Nice first game. All right, everybody. Welcome to Midgard. A little surprising to see. I think this is probably the first Midgard choice map pick that we've seen so far in Fimbulwinter. So Count's home map is Midgard. And I have an idea, Soup, as to why he picked Midgard. So we got Rapl down here in the blue picking Odin, and Count, as predicted, picking Thor up on this top-hand side. My idea is that I think Count is relying on the fact that Rapl is only going to play Odin. I think he's predicting that he's only going to play Odin. So I wonder if he's trying to pick a weak Odin map. And Soup was just talking about how, Odin on Midgard, not the most impressive thing in the world. That's my theory. What do you think, Soup?
Yeah, I think it's a good theory. And really surprised to see Rapl picking Odin here. I see very, very little reason why you would pick Odin over Loki here. Because, like, the things they can do, Loki can just do it so much better than Odin. Because the hunt bonus is pretty much dead for Odin on this map. And then with Loki, you get cheaper Ox cards, plus you can do all the standard Loki stuff. So, yeah, I'm just super surprised to see Rapl picking Odin here.
I agree. I'm not super surprised because after all, he is an Odin player, but I mean, I agree. But having said that, I actually, in team games, I'm thoroughly enjoy playing Norse as a pocket player on Midgard. It's building in the center, going for a huge Herseer spam, huge Ulfsark spam, whatever. Odin Ulfsarks with good fish. Dude, that could be huge.
That's a good point. Versus Thor, yeah. Yeah, maybe we're going to see that. But first of all, what's going to be interesting to look at here is Count is going on 2 docks versus just the one for Rapl. So looking at the fish count, it's going to go much higher for Count early on. And I think he's going to have a lot more fish, even just when both players hit Classical Age. I think... yeah, Count will have earlier fish boats out, and he's going to have more out as well. So there's going to be some pressure onto Rapl to get something done. And maybe a good way of doing that is getting those early Ulfsarks out. They train really quickly and they can do a lot of really good damage with that Lone Wanderer upgrade to the name.
I could see that being viable. You see Rapl dropping a dock on the right hand side. He's gonna have 9 really good fish with the docks that he has right now. I mean, 9 fish isn't amazing for a huge Ulfsark spam, but it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be good. Looks like he's probably dropping
more. He's gonna add more, trust me.
Of course. In fact, he just found another 3 spot.
Look at Count.
Middle of the map, baby. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Is that, you know, Count is building into the middle, right? So Rapple's just barely.
Temple. It's gonna be easy pickings.
You think so? You think so?
Yeah. Well, he's not Heimdall, but if he had Heimdall, that would be almost GG instantly, because you can use Undermine and you can just whack at it for 3 or 4 seconds and it'd be gone.
True.
With Thor, it's going to be a bit more difficult, but it's going to be a huge forest fire down on the bottom, and then it's going to be a lot of chaos in Rapl's space, and he's going to have a hard time because he has to defend this temple as well.
Yeah.
So I predict a bit of a calamity for Rapl. See if he can defend it. I think it's a good decision to rush here for Count. I wouldn't expect it if I was playing Odin, but it's a good decision.
Did he scout it?
I don't think so.
I really don't think just gets lucky.
I think he was just praying for it, yeah.
Okay.
But look at Rapl. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really nice fishing spots, whereas Count actually has kind of stopped fishing boat production. Despite having wood in his bank, he's not making any boats, really. Both are at 14 fishing boats, and I really think Thor should be surpassing Odin on a map like this in terms of fishing boat numbers.
Yeah. He is dropping another dock over on the right-hand side, top right, Count is.
Yeah, it's good. When you're rushing and you can still get those docks down for the maximum efficiency on water, that's really great.
Yeah. Okay, Soup. So we're jumping into classical. Count on Count. I just saw this. Count is actually way ahead in the classical timing compared to Rapl. Rapl is he's 30 seconds away from classical still.
Damn. Well, that's the thing. Rapl has invested so heavily into water, and I guess that's why you don't pick Odin here over Thor, is because the Archaic Age is so much more difficult to pull off than it is with Thor.
Sure.
And this you're seeing why right now.
Yeah.
If Count moves his Valkyrie over to the right side and gets Forest Fire off and that shoots Forest, that would be so good for him.
Oh yeah.
He uses on left side. Unfortunate for him. He should know there's only 3 villagers. He should know there are 4. He should know there's a big one another place, but yeah.
I'm actually surprised that he doesn't. I think that was the worst of the another Forest Fire on the top side, by the way.
Yeah, this just to get some. Whoa, he got a villager kill.
Wow.
Honestly, that was the reason you do that is just to get some breathing space, to get some idle villager times on your opponent's wood income.
Even so, Soup, I think that was the worst usage of Forest Fire for Count. He used it on the smaller wood line with the fewer villagers. I would have even preferred it on the forward, the forward forest, in order to open up the gold mine.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like that forest fire at all. Such a small forest with only 4 villagers on it. Shouldn't have done that. Ah well.
Yeah.
He did get a kill there. I don't know if you noticed, but
yeah, the Valkyrie.
Yeah, so it's actually 18 to 20 and about equal amount of fishing boats. Count doing a great job microing the throwing axemen to the hearses there, the Ulfsark. Nice. And this is what I'm talking about. The temple is down and Rapl is now scrambling. There's a lot of chaos going on, and imagine, I hate to say this, but imagine the forest fire was on the right side. It would be so hard for Rapl to get to wood now.
Indeed.
Yeah, but Count has the military numbers now. 82 to 67 population. But he is playing Thor. He doesn't have ravens, so he doesn't know that Rapl has got 6 villagers over on the left side.
Yeah, that's huge, dude.
Count thinks he's got him goal control right now because villagers are moving in and out. So that's a good thing for Rapl, is that I think he's kind of baiting Count into not scouting for the gold mine on the left.
Yeah. It's a good idea, but still, with only 6 villagers, you still need more than that in order to properly produce. But yeah, that is a good point.
But even still, even if Count isn't exactly goal controlling right now, he is still forcing a lot of idle villager time. He's ahead by 2 villagers. He's killed a temple, he's killing a barracks now, and like, I think he's ahead in KDA as well. Husane is in for Count, it's not in for Rapl. That's another big thing. It's a really big upgrade when you have this many fishing boats, 15.
Well, I mean, at this point in time, Count is way ahead in population numbers, but Rapl does have a good number of RC that is good against all those Soaring Axemen that Count has made.
Yeah, but Count has noticed the gold mine now. Rapl is forced to take this fight here. He's got a lot of RC, you're right. Like, Rapl's unit composition is honestly better than Count's here. All these Throwing Axemen are not good versus this many RC.
Yeah.
That said, there are so many more units on the side of Count, so... Good job here by Rapl taking down 2 units, maybe even 3.
See, if that forest weren't even there, it to me it seems like that forest is just makes the pressure for Count. It makes it really awkward.
Yeah, you're right. When you're rushing and there's huge forests on your forward, around your forward base, it's just a hassle to deal with. I don't like that TT from Count. He should just go balls to the wall, gold control right now. He knows where the 2 gold mines are.
Sure.
Get an armory, because he's full population. Get that heck armor. Really nice round here by Rapl. This could be a comeback.
I mean, the Throwing Axemen are medium, so it's not like they're completely unupgraded, but still, those RC are enough numbers. Are you kidding me?
What a surround by Rapl, and what a mistake by Count to go for that TC.
Wow.
Look at the population now. Rapl is at 100 versus 77 for Count.
Wow.
At the very least, Count is producing Valkyries now, which are going to be hard for Rapl to deal with.
Sure. Still, if you just have such a bigger army numbers in general, I guess you can try to fight against them still. At this point in time, dude, Rapl still has a gold on the backside, those 6 vills. It looks like he's maybe going back to the gold in his starting base. There's not a lot left over, but still. Rapples, look at that fight was huge, dude. That fight was completely huge.
Man, I don't know. Count has to really, face palm himself after that. That was a blunder from him. But, like I said, he's got 4 Valkyries out right now. Look at Rapl's army right now. He's got a Herser and no Valkyries. So, in this confrontation, as long as Count doesn't screw up like he did before, he should be able to win it quite well.
Plus, Shield Maiden Valkyrie as well. He just got the upgrade Aurora Borealis. Shield Maiden Valkyries. Sick.
Yeah, and he's got Throwing Axemen, so he can even target down that lone Herser, slowed Pinehand. He's got his task. He's got a big responsibility on his hand right now.
He does. Let's go, Slowed. What you got, buddy?
Let's see it, Slowed.
Is that a popular Danish name, Slowed?
I've never heard of it. Very few of these. Raunval, that's the other Herser here. It used to be a popular name.
Seriously?
Raunval, yeah.
Wait, where is he? There he is.
One of the most popular singers in Denmark, only in Denmark, is called Richard Raunval.
Really? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Raunvald.
It's a strong name.
Say his whole name. Say his whole name with a Dutch pronunciation. Or not Dutch, Danish.
What, the singer?
Well, no. Raunvald Jarl Basher.
Dasher, well, that's English. Raunval Jarl Basker.
That's great.
Look at Rapl. What happened here? I think Rapl got his Valkyries out while we were talking, and he's actually fighting back, and he's ahead in score now, too.
He is.
Count got himself a second TC in the back. Like, I don't know. I think this is like a lack of confidence going for TCs in a situation like this.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Instead of just going all out, going for the kill, he's like, no, we want the TC, we want the... I think that's the Thor player in him.
He wants to play it safe, and he wants to have the Ragnarok as backup and all of this, but like the thing you should have done there was to just go for the goal control. Ensure that you don't lose any fight, so that you always spend your resources on line upgrades and armory upgrades, and you keep a full population, you're never gonna, in my opinion, that is the way to go there.
Plus, he's Thor. He can get crazy army upgrades out as well.
Yeah. And the good ones in Northward, they're so good because all you need is the one. You need the male upgrades, right? You don't have to worry about Pierce.
Yep. Slowed.
Okay, Count is 5 villagers ahead now. I don't know how that happened. I think maybe he might have gotten a raid off or something.
Honestly, I think Rapl has just been up at his population limit, and so Count lost military population. It gave him space.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
36 to 29 right now, so that's in favor for Count, and he is pushing over on this TC now. But look at that. It's another surround coming, but this time Count is more prepared. He's got Ulfslags.
He's still taking the fight under the town center, though, Soup. It's still not ideal.
Oh, this town center doesn't mean very much in a situation like this. 13 and a half minutes in. Yeah, 13 and a half minutes in, and both production spaces are right next to it.
Still, like, the Ulfsarks the Norse units are pretty weak. Like, the TC, I think it helped. I think it still helped. That was not a very good fight for Count.
It's not day or night.
But, sure.
Dude, Rapl is fighting back. He's 30 population ahead here. He won that fight hugely, and he's got 4 Valkyries still left.
Jesus.
One of them barely, only just barely alive. 2 of them actually. 5 Valkyries in for him now. 6 Valkyries actually. It's gonna be hard for Count to deal with that. He's only got 2 himself.
Yep. That's micro by Count again, targeting down the hearse here. That was probably slowed. Bye-bye, slowed.
Poor Count. He should not be in the situation he's in right here. He should have never been in this situation.
I will say one thing, though, Soup. I will say one thing. I think that Rapl, it was a bummer that he had that forward starting gold mine, but he has, if you look on the left-hand side, he has 2 gold mines behind that second town center that he took. So the first gold was atrocious, but after that, he has amazing fish, good second and third gold mines. It ultimately is a good map for Rapl, ultimately.
Yeah, and the fact that you had to walk not a long distance to get to that large gold mine on the left.
Sure.
It's quite easy to defend it. Like, you get surprised at your large gold mine fine, but then down on the bottom, there's a long walk from the production of Count to get to the large gold mine there. So it was fine for Rapl.
Oh my god, dude. Rapl's almost clicking up heroic as well.
Do you think he can go Njord? Do you think he has the balls for it?
I think... I don't know about balls, man. I think that's like... I don't know if I would do it. Not that it's like disrespectful, but like slap in the face.
I see some people doing it on water maps, just for the Kraken and for the Walking Woods. You can do some funky things with it. Like, imagine Walking Woods on Count second TC right here. That would be sick, actually.
Yeah, true. Count just... He calls it, dude. What? I think Count gave up the... he started off so sick. He had the faster advance, he had good eco, he kicked him off of, took down the temple, kicked him off of gold, blah, 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 blah. The forest fire, meh, okay, whatever, but still he was in such a good position. I think ultimately it came down to unit composition. He had 3, from the beginning of the classical, he had 3 longhouses, now he has 4, well, had 4. Anyways, and he was going 2 throwing axemen and 1 raiding cavalry. And so ultimately he ended up with a ton of throwing axemen, barely any raiding cavalry, and that one fight that we saw early on the town center. Aside from him taking the town center, I think it was more an issue, Soup, of his army composition. Because Rapl had mostly RC.
Well, it was a lot of things. Like you said, it's inferior unit comp. It's the fact that he just spent 700 resources on nothing on that second TC. And then it's also that he got surrounded really badly.
Kind of everything all at once, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, he shouldn't have lost this. He could have just played it safe, just spammed units in one position and ensure you don't lose the fight. And eventually he would be able to take it, but he had to go for the TC. In my opinion, like I said, I think that's because he was not confident in his spot. But Yeah, he should have just spammed units. Units and upgrades would have done it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, still, aside from Count, I do think this was a mix. I think this was a mix. This game was a mixture of Count. Sure, he kind of threw that first fight like we were talking about. The second fight didn't help him either. On top of that, I mean, I know that Count was kind of giving Rapl the game by taking these bad fights and the arm composition and stuff like that, some small misplays. But I think that Rapl handled it well. Like he transitioned the Vills over to gold. He was kind of faking his home gold a little bit. Getting out the RC. He went for, the stronger unit composition ultimately. It worked out well for Rapl, but I still think he played it carefully. He took good fights when he could. He got a good raid, couple of good raids on the wood line. I don't know if you ever saw that on Count. I think Rapl still played well.
In that big fight, I think he also kind of baited Count
What
to take
the
that
fuck
fight.
is going on here?
And I think Count didn't realize he was about to get Riders of Rohan behind him.
Master of Freedom is gonna come.
So,
Do
that was
not
definitely
come.
well
Do
done
not
by
come,
Rapl.
Master
Yep.
of Freedom.
How about the post game? Ooh! Are you still in the game?
Yeah, well, what am I looking at?
Military tab.
Military units? Oh, military tab. Oh my god. Yeah, that's a unit comp. Like, raiding cavalry beats throwing axemen, and one player built throwing axemen primarily, and the other built raiding cavalry primarily, so that's why it looks like this.
But having said that, I want to defend Count a little bit here, because we were talking about that forward forest that he did not forest fire. So because he didn't forest fire that, it did kind of set him up to potentially take some good fights. Like where he took that fight on that second TC, the bad one. Like he was in that little corridor, let's call it, between the settlement and the actual forest. So theoretically, if he has all those throwing axemen, if they are untouched, then they can do a lot of damage because they're kind of protected by the terrain, if that makes sense. But
Hey guys.
hang on a second, Rapl. Hang on a second. Anyways, do you see what I'm saying? Like with the ranged units.
Sorry, am I coming or not coming?
Okay, let's back out and do an interview with Rapl and Master Freedom.